Howdy everybody, I'm JohnnyF, and today I want to give you a quick overview of an upgrade, or I consider an upgrade, I did to my 2019 Forest River pop-up camper. You may have seen my earlier video where I went through this unit from top to bottom, and one of the issues that I ran into was in this compartment right here in the back, there was a slide-out a slide out drawer that gave you approximately 2 cubic feet of space. So if we pull that up, this was the drawer that was in the back. So it would slide in and out, but your height was limited to 9 inches, and then what you could fit inside here added up to 2 cubic feet. But the actual space inside there was a little over 8 cubic feet. So what I did was I went into the back of the camper, and this is the inside looking toward the back window there. I'll shrink this down. So this has got 3, 6, 7 screws in it around the outside edge. And in the middle, attached underneath here, is the power lift, which makes it a little difficult to mess with. But that lift, because of the pressure it has, is pushing this piece of plywood against the back wall. So what you have to do is you have to take out these 7 screws. Then you lift the hatch up. You let that hatch go ahead and come up. So it'll look something like this. And then what you do is you grab this top edge right here. Just grab this top edge with your hands and pull it towards you and kind of fold it back along the hinge. And basically what that'll do is that will pull this edge back here, right here. It will pull that edge, and you'll be able to get that back like a ½ inch or so. And once you got that back a ½ inch, you take this piece and you push it back down flat, and then you reach back here with your fingers, and you lift up on this panel and fold it back forward over the top of this one. And that will give you access to the back area. So once you have access to that back area, it will look, let me find you a picture here. Well, you'll be able to see that, this area that you don't normally have access to from the top. So here's the drawer. Here's the drawer, and then it's got the plastic rails underneath it. So what you're going to do is you're going to go on the outside, and you're going to slide this drawer out like that. And then, unfortunately, I didn't grab a picture of the tray that it was setting on. But the tray, the tray has 2 slots in it. There's a slot at each end like this. And then there's a screw in each side that just goes down through the floor. So you pull those 4 screws out of there, and then you can remove the whole tray, and then you end up with something like this. So now you've got your whole 8 cubic feet of space now back here. And, I was like happy with that. And then I started to look at it some more, and I thought, if this panel, let me draw this, if this piece of panel right here was gone, you need this rail because that supports the bed. But if this panel was gone, then you would connect this area with this storage area, and all the way across like that. That's going to be about 7 feet. So you're not gaining any space, but you're gaining the versatility of the space, because now you could put like a full-size shovel or brooms, or maybe even a canopy. If the canopy would fit through this hole, you could slide a canopy down through there, and instead of being limited to the 30 some odd inches that are in there, you're going to have a whole 7 feet. So I started to look at that, and what I ended up doing was I took, we'll look at this one here. I went into the garage and I found myself a scrap piece of wood. was looking for another 2x2 like this. This one was almost like 2x3, but it was a scrap. I cut it to the same height as from the top of here down to the floor. I measured that. I don't recall what that was. I want to say it was 26 inches or something. But I measured that height, and then I cut that piece off. Then what I did, you can see right here and right here, I pre-drilled a couple of holes there to make sure the wood didn't split. And then I ran some 3-inch drywall type of coarse screws through there, and for that to hold the whole, to give support to the bed. And then what I did was, you can see I put 3 screws in here to attach it to this, and then I did the same thing on this panel. I put 3 screws in on this panel to attach it. So now these 2 pieces of 1/4 inch plywood are solidly attached to that brace. Excuse me. So then once all of that was in place, the plywood panel was still there. As you can grab that, as you can see from this, that panel, that lower panel was still in place, this one here. So what I did then was, there is a screw there's a screw right here that holds the panel into this board. So I took that screw out. Then along that, you've got this board running here. So on this side, I don't have a good picture of this. In there, I took a razor blade knife and I ran it down the edge like that, but on this side, along that edge of piece of plywood. I ran it up and down there, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 times. I kept scoring it till I was, at least halfway through it, to make sure that it broke off clean. The only, I don't want to say tricky part, but the other, a little more difficult part is this little piece down here is like a 1x1. So I took my razor blade knife and I kept going across and across and across, and then I went up and up on it to kind of score it and get it to come loose. If I'd have had a chisel or something, I'd have chiseled on it a little bit. But anyways, I had scored it here, and I had gone across that board there, and then I just pushed in on this panel until it went this way, and then it made like a little cracking sound as it cracked along that joint, and I got a clean break across there, which was good. And then I cleaned up that board down there. I took the razor blade knife and I cleaned it up. You can see it. Oops. Too many controls here. You can see it in this picture right here. This is where I cut it, was across there like that. So I cleaned up this edge with the razor blade knife and smoothed it out to make it good. And as you can see, I got a nice space all the way through there. So now I've got a good 7 feet. 7 feet from this side to that side, and then I've got access doors on this end, and then there's another access door down at that end, the same size. But I've got that whole through space right there, and I'm really happy with how that turned out. You can see, well, let's take a look at this one here. You can see there's the porta potty they give you, but you can see I can go straight through there now. So I can put nice stuff in there. I gained 6 cubic feet of storage space in the back by doing those modifications. And while the tray is nice, I really feel that this modification is much nicer, and at least in my opinion. To give you another look at that board, there's the board that I put in. So, it's got the 3 screws down that side, and it's got 2 in through there, and then this panel is also screwed through that board. But that board gives this panel nice rigidity, and it gives this panel good rigidity. And then with those screws, it gives this nice support that runs down the center of the bed. It gives that a nice secure. It just makes it stronger. It's going to make the bed more secure and sturdy. let's see, what else can I show you on that. If you're interested in this trailer and some of the other details, something I couldn't show before was the inverter. It's back up underneath there, and then the this over here is the actual air conditioner, and these tubes run over to blow the cold air in. So there's a little bit of space right here, but there's no good way to access it. And I don't know if you want to monkey around back by that stuff. So you're not going to really gain anything trying to claim that space. But so once you got that out of there, you've got all of that space in there again. And here I just found this picture. You can see this picture is when I lifted this panel up. I lifted the front up, and then I pulled it back this way, and I pulled the whole thing back, and that gave me the gap back here I needed. Then I took this piece, I put it back down. It just barely went down. It's just like a ½ inch skinnier than the whole space. And then I could get my fingers in here and flip this panel back over on top of that one. So that's how you're gonna get access to that space. And then once that was all done and I vacuumed it all out, I just went back and I flipped this down, flipped everything back down, and then I just pushed in on this edge right here until this edge was up flush, and then I just crawled back into this place and put all of the screws back. There's 3 over there, and then there's one here, one here, and one here. Screwed that all back down, and then I could put the bed all back together, and there I had it. I had this nice big space again. So if you have one of these, whether it's the 2019, maybe a little older version, I'm not sure what was in this space before. Maybe it was just empty in earlier models, but maybe this panel was still in. I think it's a nice upgrade. It does not hurt anything at all to take the paneling out that was right here. As long as, especially with this extra piece here all screwed in there, it's sturdier than it was before. The paneling gave a little bit of rigidity to this bar, but not much, because it wasn't actually attached underneath or on the side. So you don't really gain much rigidity from that. But I think that was a great upgrade. It didn't take me too long. I maybe spent 2 hours. I wasn't in a rush. But I now have a lot. I have 6 more cubic feet of space in the back. So hopefully that'll help some of you, and you can do the same to remove this. I don't know if I can use that somewhere else at some point, but hopefully that's a nice little project, and you'll gain some more space from it as well. So thanks for watching. Please give the video a thumbs up if you found it useful. If you have any questions about that procedure or anything else about the camper, please put that in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer that. So until the next video, happy camping.